Hello everyone, welcome back to another session with me. This is Sanyukta Saxena and we are down a couple of tiles by now. We are exploring the Tangle Rambles and today is I think the fifth tile that we are going to be drawing, and I'm going to again use ramble. I gave a hint of how I'm going to be using it today, probably going in and out of a tangle, right? So it is like a ribbon, so it can always be used to give that in and out look, right? Going inside a tangle and then coming out, something like that. So I'm first going to be starting with the tangle Huggins, right? So let's start right away. So with a sense of gratitude and appreciation, I'm first joining these two orbs with the C stroke, and then I'm going to be extending it to form the tangle Huggins like this, again a C shape, right? So the basic stroke is the C stroke, and then I'm going to extend it any which ways I like. So this would be the crazy version, yeah. So that's the second one, and then again I'm going to extend it like this. So I'm not thinking much where, what, just feeling like drawing that way, right? So again I'm going to extend it here like this and then join it. Draw whichever way you feel like. I'm not drawing it in a grid. Generally these tangles are grid tangles, but you always have a crazy version, right? And then you can join this two also, and then probably one or two more here before we close our Huggins. Yeah, I'll draw one more here like this. Yeah, so I have drawn a couple of Huggins here, and now let's probably we can first add an aura inside all. Let's do that first. Right, so as we generally do for Huggins, I am adding an aura to all the C shapes like this. Yeah, so take your time, do that exercise slowly for all. Close aura. Yeah, like this. So when we don't draw Huggins in the square grid, we call it crazy Huggins. So many of the tangles, grid tangles, have this crazy version where you just forget about the grid and they start growing in just about any direction, not bound by a grid. Yeah. So I'm now giving an aura to the outermost. Slowly take your time and do that exercise for all. And I think the last one here. Yeah, I feel like adding one more here. Probably I add one more here. Yeah. So after doing that, now we will make a ribbon. The tangle that is rambles, we will make it run through, right? So I'm starting from one side. So I'm first going to start with this first line, the zigzag. go inside my Huggins, not really bothering where, how, just drawing my first line of the tangle. And now I'm going to be adding the second to give it that ribbon kind of a look. Yeah. Just going with whatever spaces I have, following the same process while I draw the tangle. Yeah. So let us first ink it so that it looks prominent enough before we go ahead and add to our Huggins. So I am adding a thin aura there. And now I'm going to ink with a highlight like this. Yeah. Then going to the next. Again add an aura and then ink. Take your time. Don't haste up as you ink. As important as tangling. Yeah. Going to the next. So I'm going to add an aura probably outside like this. And then again leave a highlight and ink the rest. Slowly do that exercise throughout. Right, again you have this section, so add an aura, leave a highlight if you wish. Again add an aura, ink. So it is just running through my Huggins. I'm not thinking much where, how. We'll look at that later if we want to do something more. First I'm just inking the ribbon, inking the tangle. Yeah. So I finished inking my ramble, yeah, and that is how it looks like. Now let us move on to next, that is decking up our Huggins, right? So choose any tangle of your choice and just start. I have switched my pen to brown now, and I'm going to add some moons here or moon pies, whatever I feel like at this point of time, yeah. So I've started with moon, probably I will extend it to moon pies like these. Yeah. So I'm going to draw it randomly wherever I feel like. So using my brown pen, you can continue with your black pen also. That is not an issue at all. Right. So I'm going to do that on both sides of, I think, all the Huggins. Slowly add those nicely decked up moons, crescent moon, kind of a decked up crescent moon, the tangle moon pie. Yeah, again add here. So just take your time, enjoy, add some more orbs and add the moon pies on both sides of your Huggins, whatever space you have. Yeah, so I'm going to slowly do that exercise throughout, and we shall see if we want to add something more. First, let us add the moon pies. Yeah, so I'm almost done, just a few more places left where I have to draw behind. Yeah, so I'm just adding auras first, then my knight's bridge, then another aura, and then whatever spaces I have, I've drawn behind there. Yeah, I think there's one more place here. Here I think it will be hardly visible. It's all behind. Right? And then here probably you can add a little. I'm just going to add some orbs, assuming that is what is visible here. So I think we have covered all. Here again some bit of drawing behind. Right, so that's about it. So let us add something more outside. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is just go with some simple fescues or mocha fescues or whatever you feel like. So I'm just going to add a fescue and alright like this. Again add a fescue, delicate ones, alright like this again. So add a little weight as you start the line. So just going to continue with these really fragile looking beautiful fescues. Just draw in any way. While you ink the head, you can always leave a small section blank. It will look like a small highlight. Yeah. So just add some of these coming out from inside your Huggins. You can add as many as you wish. Draw behind. Like this. Yeah, so I think I'm going to go with, I'm not adding more here. If you want, you can add more, right? So I'm going to do that exercise at a few more places, probably here first, right? So just draw the fescue, just leave a small highlight as you ink the end, and then add some more. Like these. Yeah, so you can just draw it any which ways, no hard and fast rule how, where, what. So I'm just making sure that I draw behind a lot. I cross like this. Yeah, still drawing my fescues, adding some more wherever I have open ends. My Huggins, kind of breathing. beautiful fragile fescues. Take your time, draw behind. Yeah. So now that we have done that, I will now move on to shading. One small thing that you can do is add an orb inside here, so those orbs will become a little more prominent. You can also add a printum, you can add anything else. A screw kind of a shape that Maria uses often, so whatever you feel like. Almost done there. Right, so let us now shade our tile. I'm going to be adding graphite here where we generally do, at the overlaps where lines seem to be going under, over. Yeah, always a good idea. Over my crescent moon, so I'm not going to shade my moon pies. Instead, I'm just going to shade the way Huggins is generally shaded. Yeah. Like this. You can add some here, just a touch, not much. So go to each Huggins and where lines seem to be going under, just add graphite there, a little touch on the sides, and then blend. Yeah, so take your time. I'll slowly do that for all. A few more left there. Shading my Huggins, and I think this is the last one here. Right, now comes this space from where fescues are emerging. I've added some thick graphite there. I'm just going to blend it like this. Yeah, I'm going to do that for all. Right, so done that. Now time to re-emphasize some lines if you wish to. So just go back, and some of the outer or inner lines, if you want to redo them, always a good idea to do that as far as your Huggins is concerned. Yeah. So redo some of the lines wherever you feel they need to be after you have shaded. Yeah. So now the rest of the space, it is entirely up to you. You can either leave it blank or you can do some bit of embossing, right? So if you have your scoring tool handy, so I am talking about this tool. This is a scoring tool, right? If you have it handy around you, close to you, or you have a pen whose refill got finished, so you can use that pen also. So I'm just going to add some random curves like this, just inside my border, not exceeding my border. So I'm pressing it quite hard, right? And I'm just adding some auras like printums wherever I see that white space, using my scoring tool, pressing it hard so that the paper gets that impression of the tool. I'm not sure if you can see it enough on the camera. Yeah, you can. Yeah. So I'm just adding simple auras, nothing else, wherever I can see some bit of white spaces. And I'm sticking to my border here, not exceeding. Right? That's about it. I don't think we have more. And now I'm just going to use my used tortillon and then just going to run over it. Run over the impression or the scoring wherever I've used the scoring tool. I'm just using my used tortillon and adding a light shade there to add a very subtle background. Right? So easy, nothing great here, just that either use a used pen whose refill has got over and use that refill tip for making that impression. Yeah, so that's about a subtle background. So now I'm going to close my tile. So put in your chop. You don't need to do anything to your rambles, but if you still want to do, you can always add a shadow underneath, but I don't feel like doing that, so I'm going to leave it as it is. And now sign and date your tile. Right? And I will see you again with last session on the Tangle Rambles.